Matt Kenseth's lead over Boyer, 7.8 seconds. He has won here before, but Dick Berggren, he's also had heartbreaks here.
Yeah, he's had heartbreaks here twice. He was passed with the lead with 1 to go in the spring of 2007. Jeff Burton won that one. And in the fall of 07 with 3 to go, Jimmy Johnson passed for the lead and wound up winning the race. So no doubt Kenseth has his eye on the mirror, because all night long he has worried about Clint Boyer, who is now in second.
Thanks, Dick. This fifth place battle won't quit. Finally, Biffle gets to use Bobby Labonte as a pick, run Menard a little bit up the hill, and take over fifth place.
Here comes 05 time. He just got by Dale Jr. there. That's a race for position. Now he's going after our pole setter up there. 48 car coming on strong here in these final few laps.
You know what? Strong top 10 run tonight for David Reagan. Just what he needed.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Following a top 10 finish at Martinsville last week. The Roush Fenway, all 4 drivers in that top 8 right now. Great night for that camp.
Robbie Gordon just ahead of Matt Kenseth. Boyer eating into his lead, but not significantly, not with only 6 laps to go. I think the fight's going to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's going to be Stewart, Edwards, and Biffle.
That's tightening up pretty good here with just a few laps to go.
And we're riding with Kurt Busch in the 22 car, who made that green flag stop. As Darrell made note, only 2 right side tires. Kurt's still on the lead lap, back in 11th, but he's only about 6 seconds out in front of our leader, Matt Kenseth, with 5 to go.
But when we heard him earlier in the race, Larry, you would have thought he would be lucky to even be on the lead lap, let alone racing for a top 10 finish.
And the closer, Kevin Harvick, 2 laps down, 22nd. It won't be 3 in a row for Harv. Kind of lonely guy out there in his Budweiser Chevy.
Well, I think when you look at the fact that he qualified 29th, he had issues on pit road, not of his making the first 2 stops of the race. He's just never really truly been able to overcome it.
Sort of avoided disaster back there with the Mark Martin wreck with the Truex. He got through that. That was luck.
Tony Stewart, his mirror is beginning to fill up with Carl Edwards. Edwards started outside pole, won from the pole in last night's race, and was considered the man to beat here by many. But here is Carl fighting for 3rd place with Stewart.
I think Carl's had a lot of issues tonight. Car didn't handle real good for him, and then he got sick there early in the race. He's overcome a lot to get a top 5 tonight. 3
laps to go, and Matt Kenseth still 8 seconds ahead of Clint Boyer. Stewart and Edwards, Biffle and Menard, 3rd through 6th. Then 7th and 8th, Ambrose and Reagan will fight that out with Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, right now this man's just counting laps.
Nope.
It's all he got. You know, he just lets this thing run down, no caution.
Behind him, we're going to have some good battles to the flag.
Well, yeah, Matt Kenseth knows as we're coming to 2 laps to go, if he sees that white flag, that all he has to do is make that last lap, because we'll have us a race then.
He won here in 2002. He's had 11 top 10s here, 8 top 5s. He's finished top 5 3 of the last 4 Texas races.
So you might want to update those statistics on the caution flags within the last 20-some laps.
We'll be back here in a year.
Maybe it has. Maybe it's because it's a night race. That changed everything.
Put a little exclamation.
That's right, little exclamation point. Here we go.
White flag coming for Carl Edwards. Boyer all alone in 2nd. Kenseth out front. Boyer all alone in 2nd.
I think there's some cars running out of gas here, Larry. I see the 24 slow down the back.
He was one of the cars that was trying to stretch the fuel a lap more than Stewart.
And Stewart's out. Edwards passes him.
Yep, Stewart's out of gas.
But here comes Matt Kenseth.
He's not out of gas.
For Roush Fenway Racing. What a night for Kenseth. He will win the Samsung Mobile 500. 8 seconds back. Clint Boyer is going to finish 2nd. And the battle evaporated between Stewart and Edwards when Stewart ran out of gas. Edwards is going to have to hold off Biffle, and does. Then Menard. Then Ambrose, 3 car lengths ahead of David Reagan, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And Kurt Busch got a top 10 finish out of that 22 car. And there you see Tony Stewart out of gas.
Sort of reminiscent of New Hampshire at the end of last year.
Stewart finishes 12th, last car on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth scores his first win in the last 77 races, not since Auto Club Speedway, February 2009, has he driven to victory lane. It's the 8th win here for Roush Fenway. And Matt becomes the 6th different winner in 7 races this year. He gets a bonus point for winning and another bonus point for leading the most laps tonight, 169 of them. Who had Kenseth in the pool?
No one.
Some nights are like that.
We all said we should. Every one of us said we should
have picked Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth takes the checkered flag by 8.3 seconds over Clint Boyer. More NASCAR on Fox coming right up.
Well, Matt Kenseth, when you came across the start-finish line and took the checkered flag, I heard you tell the guys, thanks, guys. I didn't know if I was going to win one again.
Man, I mean, I've said that after every win, but especially after over 2 years, I didn't know if I'd ever have a chance to get here again. So really want to thank Jimmy and this whole team for working as hard as they do in this pit crew, and really Crown Royal Black, Sprint, Gatorade, and the fans up there. I mean, gosh, you had a packed house tonight, and probably wasn't the closest finish for him, but it was great racing all night, and Ford Motor Company as well.
Matt, in your mind, what was the key to winning this race?
Being in front. I mean, a couple times we got behind a little bit. It took a while to get in the front, so we were short on fuel, and because of the tire situation, how much time you could gain on tires, we got lucky, and when we pitted, it forced the field to pit. So that was the key in long runs, and I also need to thank the Lord. I've been so blessed in my life, and got a beautiful family and a great team. I can do what I love for a living, and I'm really thankful for that.
Congratulations, Matt. Thank you. Let's go back to Chris Myers.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, February, Matt and his wife giving birth to Grace Catherine Kenseth, and of course also the same month his Packers winning the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Clint Boyer, who led 44 laps tonight, as Jack Roush, the Cat in the Hat, celebrates with Matt Kenseth. Boyer could have been a lot worse. He led, as we said, made a nice save here at these high speeds on the Texas Motor Speedway, and our Chris Devoda spoke with the second place finisher tonight.
Well, an amazing save and his best finish at Texas, but I would imagine you go to bed tonight thinking, that cowboy hat would have looked good on me.
Yeah, dang it. You know, that was my fault, totally my fault. You come up on them lappers and they hold you up so bad. Matt started to catch me, and I was pressing, trying to get around him, and he gave me room. I just slid up and got into him. Man, I thought it was going to end our day completely, but really proud of Shane Wilson, everybody on this Cheerios Hamburger Helper Chevrolet, everybody that is involved with this program, BB&T, SKF, Menards, Chevrolet, everybody. You know, we're trying to get some more sponsorship for the end of the year for this thing, but all the spots aren't filled, and hopefully good runs like that will get the job done.
Good run indeed. Third top 10, this one a top 5 for Clint Boyer.
Thanks, Krista and Clint. So earlier in the year, Jeff Gordon, as we welcome you inside the Hollywood Hotel with Jeff Hammond. Chris Myers, thanks for being with us for NASCAR on Fox. 66 races, and we saw Jeff Gordon in that streak, and now 76 for Matt Kenseth. Was steady, didn't make a lot of mistakes, and as you heard him say, wondered if he'd ever get back to victory lane. Did a nice job tonight.
Well, they've been doing such a good job of just being very meticulous all year long, making good solid runs. Jimmy Phoenix making good calls on pit road. But the thing I think is more impressive, when you take a look at the top 10, 7 Fords in those top 10s. It looks like the Roush Fenway group, along with the engine department with the FR9 engine, is really putting out the kind of power on these bigger racetracks and starting to show for early part of this 2011 season.
Roush Fenway Ford, Carl Edwards was in one of those as he wound up third. Had some interesting things to say about battling the upset stomach all night with our Matt Yoka.
What an impressive run by Carl Edwards. How do you stay focused in that race car when you're dealing with a health issue?
I'm all hopped up on Pepto-Bismol. I hate to throw my mom under the bus, but she cooked a little something last night that I don't think was too good. And I think we chose the wrong package. Bob and I were just talking about it. I feel good now, but Matt and those guys did a great job. Congratulations to them. Got to thank Scott's Easy Seat, Aflac, Ford. I mean, that's a Ford sweep. You know, Matt and those guys are running like they should be running. And the great thing is we know what he's got in his car, and I'm excited to go to the next one. This Darlington's going to be good.
Carl Edwards, third.
Thanks, Matt and Carl. And he's your new points leader. We'll check on the points. We have our 6th different winner in 7 races so far this year. More interviews, more on Tony Stewart running out of fuel at the end in a race he could have won when we continue.